When I was a kid, I used to love going to my grandma and grandpa's house. They had one of those little red Etch-a-Sketches, right? Many of you know what that is. Kids nowadays, they have iPads and all those things, which are awesome. For us, we just had this thing, it had some sand in it or something, and I remember you get on that and you would just start to like make these designs. I couldn't really do anything cool. All I could really do is just kind of start to make a little pattern, and then you would get around a little bit, and then it would kind of start to get a little bit out of shape, and so then all of a sudden you just start making it like you twist the knobs all the directions and it would go everywhere, and your brother would come over and punch you and say that thing looks dumb, and then at the end of it all you would just get this shaking that happened, and then whew, clean slate, right? Fresh start. And in life, you and I, we have an awesome opportunity in front of us, and we have that opportunity every single day. We have the opportunity to have a fresh start each and every day. Now, I want to back up about 16 or so years when I was at a point in my life at the age of 19 when I really was mixed up on the inside. I didn't have my thoughts in the right place, and honestly, I felt spiritually dead inside. I was not alive, I was not thriving. I was physically alive, but inwardly not alive at all. There was this change that happened in me, and at certain points I'll probably talk a lot about that because it was a pivotal time of my life. But what had happened as I began to really seek after God, my heart and my mind, my life, my spirit was awakened, and literally it was like I had a brand new beginning. And so then fast forward to now, I get to enjoy the daily refreshment that comes through having a fresh start. Right now we're in our house, and this house was built in the 1920s by a great-great-grandpa of mine. And we started working on this house, and it was a massive project. I mean, a massive project. Literally, people told us, don't do it, you should just push it over. But there's history here, there's heritage here. It was worth something to us. And we would go out and we'd work on it, kids would work on it, friends would come over, and we'd just spend hours on end working. And there were different points where we were digging into things that were just nasty to dig in. At one point, I'm inside a septic tank it was dried out, hadn't been used in 20 years, but still, it's a septic tank. I'm in there and I'm scooping out all the stuff, throwing it out. My dad comes walking up, he's got his clean cut self all put together, and he's got his apron on, you know, then walks up, he's a grocery guy, so he walks up and he's like, man, that right there, that builds character. And I thought, yeah, building a ton of character here. I'm dealing with the crap, literally, the junk in life. And I remember how good it would feel, you know, when you're filthy dirty, and then you run and like jump in the river, or you get to take that shower, or whatever it is, and you feel that washing, that cleansing, that freedom, much like the Etch-a-Sketch. It's that you get to start over, you get a second chance, you get another chance. Man, if there is anything that I'm thankful for in this life, it's that I've been given another chance. It's that I've been given a fresh start. And if there's anything that I want to do in my life, I want to teach this to my children, I want to teach this I want to live this out, I want to do this. I want to enjoy the benefit of being a child of God. I want to enjoy the benefit of waking up in the morning and bringing my heart and my mind and my life and my mistakes from the day before or from the week before, whatever, all of the things that make me feel nasty and dirty and like a failure, and I want to bring those before God, and I want that fresh start. I love how the scripture says that His mercies are new every morning. They're not just new every morning, they're new every afternoon, they're new every evening, they're constantly new, and His mercy is good. And it's that release that happens when you get a new opportunity. And that is the benefit of being a Christian. It's what it means to be a Christian, is we get to not have to live with the junk of our past, but we get to learn from those mistakes and we get to move forward. But there's always going to be mistakes this side of heaven. It's just going to happen. So here's some of the benefits that we can experience from the fresh start, from the opportunity that we have to live a fresh way. And here's one of the biggest ones. Grace. Grace, it's God's love. It's his overflowing love. There's nothing you can do to be loved by God any more, or nothing you can do to be loved by God any less. So if God is willing to give you grace like that, is willing to die to give you grace, then you have no right to withhold grace from yourself. So give yourself a break, honestly. That's the benefit of the fresh start. I'm learning that more and more. I was so hard on myself, and still am at times. But I believe that like over the years, the 15, 16 years of living the Christian life and do my best to pastor people, to love people, I've been hard on myself a lot. And I think that as the years go by, I'm learning to give myself or more slack, or to cut myself a break. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to work hard or try. It just means that I'm not going to be as hard on myself. And oftentimes we are very hard on ourselves. We're our own worst critics. So if God's going to give you grace, then receive the benefit of that grace and give yourself some too. The second benefit is what Scripture would describe as a clear conscience. Now, for me, when I make mistakes, and obviously you make them too, just like I do, those mistakes can often carry into the next day. And in relationship, if Amy and I don't go to bed on good terms, we wake up, and a lot of the time we're not on good terms when we wake up. And so it requires a reboot, or it requires a fresh start. And a big portion of the time, it's my conscience that's messed up. It's the thinking. It's, I knew I said things that I shouldn't have said, or did things I shouldn't have done. And with that happening, my conscience is stained. It's dirty. It's like when I was digging in that septic tank or working on the house, just completely dirty and stained. And that's not God's intended plan for us. It's to be clean and fresh and free. And so a benefit of the fresh start is that through that life of seeking Him and living on track, He actually cleanses us. He cleanses our conscience so that we're not weighted down by guilt and struggle and pain and mistakes. So you have to allow that benefit to actually take root in you, and to allow your conscience to be clear, because there is nothing greater than receiving the grace, and then also that benefit of the freedom of a clear conscience. There are a few things that we need to do, and these are important steps that we need to learn if we want to live in that day by day, morning by morning, fresh start life that we're intended to live. One of them is we have to keep short accounts. It's very important. Keep short accounts. I'm going to bring challenge to you in this, because keeping a short account, that sometimes is most difficult to keep short accounts with ourselves. When we make the mistake, right, then we hold that against us for ourselves for days on end. We can't do that. But in addition, we have to keep short accounts with other people, because if you are withholding forgiveness to people, if you're ticked off at people constantly, or if you've made a mistake and you've not gone to that person and said, hey, I'm really sorry, those are all inhibitors to living a life of a fresh start. So what we do is we bring our hearts, our minds to God each morning, and we say, hey, can you please point out any error within me? Like Psalm 51, I believe, search my heart, know me, try me, know my anxious thoughts, see if there's any unrighteous or wicked way within me, and lead me in the everlasting way. When we approach God with that heart, and then we bring it to Him, and we learn to keep short accounts with Him, turning quickly from our failures and mistakes and running back to Him, but also forgiving and asking for forgiveness here on earth, that's going to enable us to live a fresh life each day. The other thing is that we have to make a plan. We have to have a plan. If I know that I have a perpetual rhythm or routine of, let's say, eating, in a poor way every day. I know the day before I did it, and the day before that I did it, and I have this high goal in mind, or a destination I want to arrive at, I want to be healthier, but I'm not really doing anything to make those healthy steps, and and I'm not really making a plan. A simple way to make a plan to take one small step in the right direction there is to get up and be intentional with what it is that you're going to be eating, let's say, that day. This example can be used in so many different ways, but if you don't have a plan, if you don't have the step to go in the right direction, then ultimately you're probably going to have history repeat itself. You're going to say that stupid thing again and get yourself on the couch. You're going to make that mistake. You're going to not discipline your children the way you should, or you're going to pop off in class, or whatever it is that you may struggle with, that you've been struggling with. So you have to have a plan to navigate toward a positive future. And what we want to encourage you with constantly is that as you're seeking progress, not perfection, but progress, taking one step in the right direction, you're gonna live the free, charged up, energized life that you're meant to live, the one that God has designed for you to live. And we also want to encourage you with this, that your circumstances are not going to hold you back. You're going to make it in this life. You're gonna run your race, you're gonna find your path, and you're going to get to the calling and to the destination, to the destiny that God has for you. And it's a good place, so keep doing your best to live that on-track life. Okay, act like a commentator real quick. Be like, hey, Caden Preston here. I want to talk to you today about how cool it is to wear a green shirt.
Not happening.
Amy, you talk about how awesome it is to wear purple eyeshadow.
Purple eyeshadow?
Sell it. Mm-hmm. Sell it.
If you have green eyes, you definitely want to go with the purple eyeshadow. Why? Because it's kind of the color of a peacock's butt. And everyone likes to look at a peacock's butt. People pay to go to the zoo to look at a peacock's butt. So put the peacock's butt on your face and buy purple eyeshadow today.
Oh man, I'll buy that crap. All right.